And I just got non-emotional about it. Okay, it's not about how hard we're going to work. It's not about how long we're going to work. It has nothing to do with the amount of time we're going to put into this. We're going to put in, the only thing that matters is that we get to 120 homes. And if we hit 120 homes, worst case scenario, I'll take home 400, you take home 200, you take home $150, 50 gets left behind to pay for the office and everything else. And then that's how we landed at 123. So some people think, oh, I want to do 120 because I want to make $40,000 house. I want to make $5 million. You're looking at it the wrong way. How much do you want to take home? So from that year on, I can pull it in my phone, go to the drive and go YTD, and you'll see 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23. And I have a business plan behind every single year. And all I do is I just take what I want to take home, I put it at the top, and I reverse engineer my way into the deal. And then I go, I don't want to think about how much money I'm going to make for the rest of the year. And if you work with me or you work with me, I don't want to hear anything about money. All I want to know is that we're going to work our asses off until we hit this many units or this many houses or this many numbers, whatever we define it as. And then that way there's no distraction throughout the year. The only goal is to flip that many homes.
Do you feel like having the goal be that many units put you into houses that you probably shouldn't have flipped?
No, because every single house that I've flipped taught me something valuable. I'm actually a big believer in break evens, maybe losing a few bucks, making very little money, because those are the homes that teach you the most. The homes that you just walk in, you paint it, you carpet it, and you walk out with 60 grand, you're as dumb as the day you bought it. The house that you bought and you get dropped out of a helicopter and hit every branch on the way down in the tree, and by the time you hit the bottom, you're down 30 grand. You will make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars from that one $30,000 lesson. You're not going to be able to go and reduplicate the results that you made 60 grand on one house because you carpeted and painted it. What'd you learn? How do you duplicate that? Unless you're a fucking spectacular buyer, which are rare and far and few in between. And this guy's an expert at that shit.
Yeah.
Or your company and you're affiliated with.
Yeah.
And I ask you the question of how you grew, because one of the things I'm really interested in is you have a great team around you.
Yeah. Culture.
And what I want to kind of figure out and reverse engineer is who was your first hire? Who do you think is the most necessary first hire? When do you think it's necessary to even start bringing on more help into the business?
So in my opinion, real estate, especially flipping homes, is most efficient and done the most correctly with two brains. Okay. And so I'm not a believer in running a house flipping business alone. And if you really go around and scan your brains of who flips homes, they've always got a right-hand guy, you know what I'm saying? Or they've got an equal, but it's never like just one human being, So I would start off with someone that you can trust, because that's the other thing. There's a lot of money in this business, and people get they start drinking their own Kool-Aid, and they think that they're the originator of the idea that brought in that amount of money, and they think, well, fuck it, why would I give up so much? I'll just take the information and go duplicate it myself.
Which is a lot harder to do than you think.
Well, so in the beginning, when I had to learn that lesson, is that nobody is Josh Galindo. And it doesn't mean anything to anybody else. It's just for me. My results that I am capable of producing are because of me. So even if I taught somebody, which at this point I've taught 15, 20 people have come in and out of my life, and there's no accidents that Josh keeps ticking up the ladder and that nobody's heard of the other guys.
Yeah.
Because nobody's fucking me. And so, but the other thing that I do is what I do today is that if you work within 6 feet of me, you sign a non-compete. So I don't play that game anymore. You know what I'm saying? A non-compete and a NDA, non-disclosure.
Have you actually had to pursue legally?
No.
Because there's getting that signature and then there's actual...
Enforcing it.
And enforcing it. Because we've had this issue at our company, having people sign the non-compete and then they break it. And, we may or may not, my owner may or may not go after them.
Here's how I look at the non-competes. Is one, to answer your question, I've never had to enforce one. But I don't look at the non-compete to debilitate another human being from being able to taking a life skill that I've taught them and improve their families and their lives. That's what society's about. I want to teach other people. That's what this is. That's what you guys are doing, you know, and we want to see society grow. That's how we've gotten to a point where we could talk into this black thing and it amplifies our voice. Like somebody taught somebody else how to make a microphone. You know what I'm saying? Went from cavemen to what we're doing. So that is a part of how society works. What I don't like have happening is that you are a direct threat to my livelihood when you go on. So to me, that is what a non-compete is about, is that I don't wake up and feel your foot right here. Okay. So if I feel your foot within a fucking inch of my face, or I can hear you breathing in my ear because you refuse to go and reinvent yourself and or stay in a lane that you've created, then I would tap into the non-compete. It's just there to protect my livelihood, not debilitate theirs.
Got it.
So my big thing is that, and this is for everybody out there, because there's going to be partnerships where you guys will outgrow each other, is just move on into a different space and ensure that you're not hurting the person that taught you how to do it. And then there's no reason, you know, the only reason you'd have a non-compete isn't because there's not enough to go around.
Right.
If you truly believe in abundance, there's enough to go around. It's if your proprietary skills that you utilize on a daily basis are being utilized by your competition all of a sudden.
Right.
You know, when the reality is that guy wants to go and pursue their own ambitions, good for him. Just go and invent your own ambitions and stay out of my pond.
So when they say that they want to leave, is the non-compete like for 1 year, or can they just do something?
It's 36 months after they leave.
36 months.
Yeah. But like I said, because you got to think, I have to sell why I'm asking you to sign a non-compete. Correct. When you come. And this is the conversation I have with people. This is so you don't hurt me. You know what I'm saying? And then, and I have no problem teaching you a life skill that can make you tens of millions of dollars over your lifetime, maybe even hundreds of millions of dollars over your lifetime. But I just want to make sure that when and if you decide to pursue your ambitions, or when and if you and I don't work, that we have some pre-negotiated terms that you're not going to go fishing in my pond that I found through blood, sweat, and tears and experience. You're going to go and find your own pond and implement all the skills and lessons and tools that I've taught you, but you're going to do it in your pond. Yeah,
it's essentially a sunset clause, or it's like the same concept as like a prenup, if you really think about it.
Elaborate on that. I'm curious.
You're illustrating your value at the beginning of the relationship, and you're managing the expectations on the front end, and you're saying, this is so that you don't hurt me. Yeah. It sounds a lot like a prenuptial agreement.
Yeah, I could see that.
Well, and also, what is a sunset clause?
Sunset clause is essentially an exit on partnerships. There's like a duration of time that you can exit and how that exit would look. So it sounds like you've been burnt, obviously. Yeah. You've had relationships go bad, which is what happens to relationships. So from your experience, you now attack that and you manage the expectations on the front end, which from some of your stuff that I've heard, you do that in your relationship as well. Your romantic relationship, when you entered into that romantic relationship, you manage the expectations on the front end, which is, I think, in part why you've had success with that.
I think beautifully said. Beautifully said. Yes, it's spot on. And I could end it there, but I'll contribute to your statement. With all of my relationships is what I've found to be one of the major components of my success is my ability to articulate my thoughts and communicate. And I think that is a huge factor for success with all business. So I highly encourage people that maybe are insecure or struggle or are not able to articulate their thoughts and or communicate well. I highly encourage them to go and get coaching around that. Because that will take you much. I'm a high school dropout, never went to college. Okay. What got me where I'm sitting right now is my ability to communicate and articulate my thoughts, period.